and he will present to us the project of PREOTKRIVANE mineiно. Please.
So yes, my name is Savić, and I'm part of the team from the University of Freiburg, and I will present you with one part of the project called Russisches Altkirchenslawische Jahrhundert, which means the Russian Church Slavonic 16th centuries. Which is led by, like you can see, Juliana and Achim Babus, who also is at the same time the contact person. What I wanted to say now is that I will start off with a very brief introduction to the Veliki Mineicheti, and I don't think I should be very thorough about it because we've already been introduced by them, to them by Mr. Duzzo. Then I will tell something about the project of creating the corpus, and after a short demonstration, let's hope the internet connection will work. I mean, but not only that nothing goes wrong. I will end with a short conclusion. So, the Veliki Mineicheti were compiled in the 16th century by Metropolitan Macarius, and in the 16th century, and the scribes. Here you can see the initial page, or actually folio, of the Apostolos. Here you can see on the next slide, you can see another part of the Apostolos. I will come back later to why I've actually chosen to show Apostolos. That's actually what we are making the corpus of, but I'll come back to that later. So, okay, this is a very brief comparison of the Mineicheti and the Codex Suprascelsiensis. So both of them are monologies, but they emerged in different centuries. The Mineicheti is much later, and it's written in Russian Church Slavonic, but on the other hand, it covers the whole calendar year, whereas Codex Suprascelsiensis relates to the month of March, and it's written in Old Bulgarian. Okay, so the Mineicheti are, I don't know how to say, a huge work that contains and comprises more than 27,000 pages of hagiographies, methodologies, and Bible text, which are to be found in three spiski: Sofijski spisak, Slovenski spisak, and Carski spisak. What can be the subject of the investigation, like let's say one of the main goals of the corpus is actually the investigation of East and South Church Slavonic influences, because both varieties are represented in the text. Okay, the corpus material is made of the Apostolos that relates to the 30th of June. As for the objectives, let's say the aim of this project is to broaden the empirical basis, the base of the linguistic research on Church Slavonic and the historical variation. You can see on the slide. And one of the also main goals is to emphasize the multiple purposes of one text. So let's say you have a digitalized material, or materials actually, and you can use them both in printed and digital editions. As the other colleagues have already stated, you can, it's not the same. The electronic version is not the same as the printed version, so it shouldn't be, it should have additional, let's say, additional possibilities that the user can make use of. It's not a book in the electronic version. Okay, as for our goals of the concrete corpus, let's say, the concrete goals of the corpus are to maintain the faithful orthographic representation, so almost no simplification and no normalization will or has been conducted. The second thing, apart from, for instance, the accentuation, we haven't used it because apparently, it's a long story, but it's not, it's not very reliable. I mean, the accentuation, everything else is pretty much important for the linguistic analysis. The second important goal is that this first goal of maintaining the faithful orthography won't worsen the user-friendliness of the corpus. So yes, there is great spelling variation, inconsistency, problems and issues with word division, but it shouldn't be a problem at the eventual stage of the corpus, which we still haven't reached because this is a new project, relatively new project. So our target group also, it should say, includes, it's not only for philologists, for linguists as well, and also for people who do not necessarily possess IT skills. That's also one of the end goals. So we have two editions, like I said, we're working on, the printed edition and the electronic edition. They are both for philologists and for linguists. And simultaneous use of both of them is actually recommended. As for the challenges, the problem is tracing and locating the tokens in the text. How one, by finding a word in the corpus, how can one find it also in the printed edition? The second problem are of course, the graphemes that are not to be found on any modern keyboard layout. I mean, when I say modern, I mean any keyboard layout of any modern language. And the inconsistent spelling, among other problems. Those are just the most prominent problems, let's say. We've opted for Unicode 5.1 and for XML because Unicode 5.1 supports almost all the characters we need and that are present in the corpus, whereas the XML offers a relatively quick and easy manipulation of the corpus interface. What's important to mention here is that, they're both standard compliant, which is good. One of them, the second very important point is that CWB, the corpus workbench that can be downloaded for free, and the CQP, which kind of goes with it, with the CWB, which is it's called a corpus query processor, but it's basically like a, I wouldn't call it a search engine, but it uses the CQP uses the regular expression syntax to find the words in the corpus. So it's very useful, and the CWB is chosen because it converts textual files relatively quickly into a corpus. Okay, before the conclusion, sorry, I'll have to show how it works approximately with, let's say, this is just one presentation of the, regular expressions are not very user-friendly. That's something pretty much obvious, but you'll see that the simplest entries are not that difficult to type. And here we used the characters that can be found on modern Russian or Bulgarian keyboard layouts. So, of course, you can also use yat and, I don't know, thetas and stuff, or superscripts even, as long as your keyboard supports it. But as long as it doesn't, which is the case with the most users, you just use the dot here. You can see it here. And the asterisk implies that, yeah, there is a string, an unknown string following the per, and so on. So this variation should give you the results that can tell you how the word prvi or pervi or piervi and so on was, for instance, spelled in the corpus. So okay, you see per, and per, followed by a V. There is a set of instructions that can also be found on the web page of the corpus web page, which is very, you will see it's very, very simple. You have to use the quotation marks, by the way. Take some time. Okay, so this is what it looks like. The red words, I mean the words marked red, are the results. I would like to zoom in, I can zoom it in. But then I will have problems like I also thought with scrolling left and right. But okay, here you can see some of these. The problem with a small square that usually replaces superscripts when the browser doesn't support the font. So that's the problem. But everything is encoded as long as you use, for instance, Mozilla and the newest version of Mozilla. But this is interpretive. Then you get these, but that's not the problem. And of course, we're working on implementing fonts that a user will not be made to think of when they want to see what letters and what characters were used in the corpus. So first we have indicated in the let's look at each line. I mean, just one line as an example, like 1,158 would be the total number, followed by the line number, which means that's a line in the text. Like you've seen, I can actually show it on the presentation. One of these. This is a structure. So each of these should be marked in the corpus as well. What hasn't been done yet here in this version of the corpus is and this is not the whole corpus, this is just a part. It's the page number, and okay, we have the column number, and I mean we have the page number, but yeah, there has to be done some more additional work because actually we're not sure about the folios or the pages because originally they were thought of as folios, not as pages. But yeah, as I said, it can be developed very quickly. Okay, so what we can see in this result is that the, let's say, South Slavonic spelling prevails with rv. There are some where, like Ger, as you can see here, or some East Slavonic variant also occurred, or here. But yeah, this is like the most prevailing variant of the spelling of the word every. Okay, then we can, let's say, I don't know, ask another question to the, or yeah, we can have a look at another. Let's say the hard or the soft endings of the third person, plural or singular in verbs. What will happen when I do this is we will get also some results that are not verbs, which is again because we haven't still used the CWB to completely, so to say, because it takes a long time to annotate the whole corpus, which hasn't been done yet, but it's going to be done in the next stages of the project. So we will get both, I don't know, nouns ending in T as well as verbs, but a user will usually get mostly verbs, like you will see now. So let's say we're wondering whether the ending is with a mjaki znak or with tvrdi znak. It takes some time when the number of tokens is large. Okay, let's look for something that will give us less results in order not to bug. Let's explore it again. Okay. This sentence will give us most results we will get will relate to the first personal pronoun if we wonder about what kind of form it had and what kind of form prevailed again. So okay, mnie, 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 mnie. Okay, these are different cases of course, but you can see okay, sometimes you even get the word, the verb, but yeah. Okay, there are a lot of things. I mean, I can scroll now even faster, but I don't think you will be able to see everything. If we wonder about, I don't know, let's say this one, but this one is interesting because it investigates the palatalization before the locative, for instance. But it will give us a lot of other results, like any noun, any itza, or let's have a look at that one. I'm afraid that it won't stop working. I mean, it will stop working. There are a lot of these results. Internet Explorer gets doesn't respond again. Oh, okay. Here we go. Okay, like I said, leads it doesn't tell us that. But obviously C. Okay. So it says ground, but still, even with the lack, let's say, of the parsing of the corpus, which will be done by the annotation, you can see a lot of. You can see that it's actually useful. Of course, you will have to have a bit, let's say, patience in case you give a query that is not that will give a lot of results that are not exactly the part of speech you wanted to find. Like this time, I wanted to find the palatalization, but yeah, I will get other nouns as well. But still, searching is not that problematic. In the end, like at the bottom here, you get how many hits. Search has given here, so it's also a very useful piece of information. Or yeah, I will just give another one. This one I found interesting because it actually can tell something about the hue declination, maybe. Of course, it takes a bit longer analysis. You can just look at one word and say, okay, this is it. But with the surrounding, like with Petrovi, which I found Petrovi, for instance. Especially this sentence gave us a lot of results that we didn't aim at, but for let's say one of the initial stages, this is still useful. Okay, and so on and so on. Yeah, that would be. Yeah, okay, this is a very last one, and it's a very simple one as well. This is just investigating whether the K will, whether the say Saxonic influence was so great that the K, the K or the key variant will prevail. And yeah, we will see now the results, what we get. But yeah, it seems to stop sometimes when the browser is. Maybe this time it will work. Yeah. Okay. As you see, like everything that you see in the parentheses are the. Everything you see in the parentheses is, but you can read it in the instructions as well, which are very easy to understand, that you can find on the web page of the corpus webpage. Is okay, so we have a string before key or key, then we have a string after that, like following this constellation of consonant and vowel. And so everything that is in parentheses divided by a pipe will give us results like it's either key or key. So let's have a look whether it's finally. Oh, no. Okay. Oh, here it is. I just have to get more page. So you very, very often the way people spell this combination of sounds. Yeah, that would be all. So before I just conclude, I would just like to say, okay, this is a very important literary monument with a lot of potential for. Oh, sorry, I didn't want to press that one. A lot of potential for future research, and in the end, I would like to thank to Ruprecht von Waldenfels and Uli Held, who are officially not part of the project, but have helped to a great extent for developing and advising us when we had certain problems. So thanks for your attention, and don't hesitate to contact Achim Rabus for further questions.